Hi, welcome to the Speeding Bulletin. My name is Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com. This is all the Superman related news there was for the week May 8th to May 14th, 2009. In movie news, Bonhams and Goodman are conducting an auction of collectibles on Sunday, May 24th in Melbourne, Australia, in which a Christopher Reeve Superman costume worn in the making of Superman 3 will be sold. The costume comprises of a leotard featuring the unmistakable red and yellow S logo, a pair of red trunks and yellow belt. The leotard has slits in the side through which cables were fed to suspend Reeve while filming simulated flying scenes. The 2009 Leo Awards honouring the best in British Columbia's film and television industry were held on Friday, May 8th, and of the 6 nominations it received, Smallville won the Best Production Design in the Dramatic Series category. Production designer James Philpott received the award for the Season 7 episode Quest. Congratulations to James and his crew. Peter McDermott updated our Smallville episode guide with his summary of last week's Season 8 episode Injustice. Neal Bailey and Douglas Trumbull have written their reviews for this same episode, with Neal giving it a 1.5 out of 5, while Doug gave it a 2.5 out of 5. The CW Source released a new video in which Aaron Ashmore, who plays Jimmy Olsen, takes Jason C on a tour of the Daily Planet offices from Smallville. The guys look around Clark and Lois's desks and examine the attention to detail in the Daily Planet set design. The season finale of Season 8 of Smallville aired on Thursday, May 14th. Titled Doomsday, this episode saw Oliver take the lead when Clark exhibits resistance to killing Doomsday, and Chloe finds herself caught in the middle of the situation. Meanwhile, a fight between Lois and Tess takes a surprising turn. Look for our episode summary and reviews at the Superman homepage in the next few days. TV Guide magazine published a preview article on the Season 8 finale of Smallville, and in it, executive producer Kelly Souders said this of Chloe Sullivan: "That character has really been put through the ringer this season and been torn and conflicted, and unfortunately those issues are not going to go away in the finale." Speaking of Alison Mack, you'll recall that back in late February, the Superman homepage was the first to report that Smallville could possibly continue on for 10 seasons when Tom Welling renewed his contract for the TV series. Alison confirms this in an interview with IndieWire.com, where she said, "Tom has signed for 2 more, so the show will go until season 10. I will be completed with my contract next year, and I am looking for new and exciting ways to carry out my character's exit. I think you'll find that the final decision on a possible 10th season comes down to the CW and will mostly depend on season 9 ratings and availability of other cast members." IGN Comics conducted a lengthy interview with Dan Didio discussing many things, including Blackest Night, Batman, Adventure Comics, JLA, and the Superman books. In regards to the crossover event in the Superman books coming up in August, Didio said, "There'll be 7 books in the month of August that will tie into the story. There are the 4 main books, Superman, Action, World of New Krypton, and Supergirl. Then we'll also be seeing 3 specials that month as well. We have another Jimmy Olsen special, a Superman annual, and then a Superman Secret Files that will all tie into the crossover event." IGN.com has posted the first look at the cover for the upcoming Blackest Night Superman #1 comic book. We've known that the Earth 2 Superman Kal-El is set to make his return as a galactic zombie, but it appears he in turn might be tasked to resurrect good old Pa Kent. Check out the article and full-size image over at IGN.com. The DC Universe The Source blog gives us another look at the upcoming Superman story in the first issue of Wednesday Comics. Here's another look at artist Lee Bermejo's Superman story, which features a familiar face. Look for Wednesday Comics #1 to hit shelves on July 8th. ComicBookResources.com published the first part of their interview with writer James Robinson, in which they discussed with him his writing the Superman comic book title. In regards to the city of Metropolis, Robinson said, "One of the things they wanted me to do was, how should I put it, Opal City-eyes Metropolis. I think it's a criticism, and a valid one. If God came down with a giant hand and plucked away the Lex Luthor building and the Daily Planet, there is nothing else distinctive about the city. It could be anywhere in America." Superman comic books we reviewed this week included Superman World of New Krypton #3, which was reviewed by Ralph Silver, who said, "This is comic book storytelling at its finest," and he gave it a 5 out of 5 rating. Trinity #49 was reviewed by Neil, Jeffrey and Barry, with all 3 reviewers giving this a 1 out of 5. Supergirl Cosmic Adventures in the 8th Grade #6 was reviewed by Adam DeChannel, who gave it a 5 out of 5 and said this about the series: I seriously loved it, and I'm very disappointed it was only 6 issues long. While James Lance looked back to 1971 and reviewed Superman 240, featuring the To Save a Superman story, which he rated a 4 out of 5. Superman comics shipping this week from May 13th include Action Comics 877, Super Friends number 15, Trinity number 50, Superman New Krypton Volume 1 hardcover, a new printing of History of the DC Universe trade paperback, and Superman Trinity poster. In other news, Rittenhouse Archives is releasing a new collection of JLA trading cards in July. These 72-card Justice League of America Archives trading cards will feature full-colour art on the fronts and classic comic covers on the back. Bonus chase cards will include an 18-card Super Friends cartoon bonus set, as well as one hand-drawn colour sketch card per box. There's also a custom-designed Justice League of America Archives collector's album with 9 pocket pages and a bonus promo card to store your collection in. Superman homepage reviewer James Lance continues reviewing story arcs from the 1940 Superman radio series. This week he reviewed The Case of the Double Trouble, in which Clark and Lois are accused of crimes they didn't commit. That's all the Superman related news there was for the week May 8th to May 14th. I'm Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com.
Hello, welcome to the first Neal Bailey planet in my stately Portland residence. That's right, I'm moving up in the world. I'm kind of getting over my bankruptcy and going from Vancouver to Portland, which is cool. It's a cool city. Anyway, today I wanted to talk to you about red sun generators and gold kryptonite. Seems like two, things that have gotten people kind of sniping and in an uproar. Though it seems like a really kind of small thing to get people upset about. But anyway, the idea being, I don't like anything that immediately takes away the powers of Kryptonian. It doesn't make sense. To that I would say, you are dealing with a man who flies and spits fire from his eyes. Like that. Like in this big, And the logic is either his molecular density or the fact that he has an aura or the fact that he comes from a planet many, many galaxies away. Now, that's not to say I don't like story cohesion and that I don't think some devices are cheap, but one thing that's very, very important to me is that I'll believe a pig can fly as long as it's in a coherent narrative. And one thing that Superman has been short for in the last number of years is something just happening and there not being an A to B. At least Jeff Johns said, hey man, now kryptonite is gold kryptonite is something that takes away powers for 15 seconds, and it's law, and it's going across the books, and it's consistent, whether you like it or not. And the red sun generator, or the gun that Superman turned on himself in Wonk, 30 minutes without power. At least it's consistent. It makes sense. It's a narrative framework with which to tell your story, which, in this case, for both of the books, seems to be very character-driven. This, to me, is a good thing and something that's needed, so I am going to overlook the device and enjoy the story. Unlike, mystical, undefined creative energies, which gives me power over you, Krona. No, it gives me power over you, Morgaine. Do you see the difference? I love Portland. Bailey Planet is sponsored by Gibbo.